Another Just Flying episode where we're on the island of Reunion. And if you're unsure, Reunion Island is close to Mauritius, which is fairly close to Madagascar, which is then fairly close to Africa. And if you don't know where Africa is, then welcome to Earth. What planet have you travelled here from? These are just default airports, by the way. Probably should have checked before I started this flight if anybody had uploaded better ones. But yeah, a bit basic, but seems to have a few hangars and buildings missing, but never mind. I'm just waiting for a 747 to land. God, I make great fun and interesting content, don't I? Feel like an X-Plane plane spotter now. Really should have started this flight again. Could just cut this bit out the video, done something, just make it vaguely bit better. Come on then. And yeah, God knows what that smoke was. Yeah, Traffic Global. I like it, glad I've got it, but it has limitations, and AI landings, that's not one of its stronger points, shall we say. Line up and wait for him to... Ooh, just disappeared. The 747. Yeah, that's usually either no defined taxiways or no suitable parking spots at the airport. Yeah, without those, I've seen it before where planes land, slow down, and then have nowhere to go or no way of getting there, so they just disappear into thin air. Yeah, so that bit, it's not Traffic Global, that's whoever designed this airport. And as it's a default one, it may well be years old and made by a Laminar Research bot rather than a human who knows what they're doing. So, yeah, who knows? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the departure was FMEE, and we're going across to the other side of the island to FMEP. And then after that, we'll be going nowhere else because that's the only two airfields here on the island. It is in X-Plane anyway, and wouldn't surprise me if that was true in real life as well as Reunion. It's not that big. So the reason for being here today, well, simply it seems quite a pretty island, so we're doing a bit of sightseeing. Sure, it looks like volcanic activity. There's craters, valleys. It's all seemed very nice, so let's go and have a look at it. I mean, I could just use various camera modes, slew around and get a look at it all that way, and I have done that a little bit. But there's definitely a different point of view that you get from the cockpit actually flying a plane. And that's why we all own X-Plane, isn't it? To fly planes. Apart from those weird people who fly helicopters, but we don't talk about them. Yeah, so that's the overview of today's flight, but the reason why I'm on this island in the first place... Well, I've just spent many hours doing Christchurch, a big real-life airport, and I've been trying to copy things to make it look like a big real-life airport. And after all that, now I fancy a change. Doing something where I can be a bit more creative, push the boundaries of artistic license and that kind of thing. You may have seen a previous video about Taya now, and that will still happen and will be a good outlet for my creative side and see what I can come up with there. But on top of that, a couple of days ago I had an idea. Now, I know I've said before about ripping up south of the Orland and starting again in the same location. I've now decided that I was totally lying when I said that. Yeah, it's still good fun now that it's had its X-Plane 12 updates, and it should get to stay. So it will. Though this new idea, it could have been a replacement in that area and have been the first airport or few airports of South Fiordland version 2, but as I now needed a different location, I've been looking around, and Reunion Island seems like it might tick all the boxes to make something interesting. Possibly even spread over to Mauritius too. I mean, people who make flights here to Reunion and or Mauritius, they're going to really hate it, but for everybody else, yeah, it stands a chance of being a nice bit of something a little different to do when you're far up X-Plane. Yeah, something to explore. I know there's hills and valleys here, just like in South Fiordland, but yeah, the new idea, it's not going to be the same kind of thing, by the way. Yeah, it's a whole different sort of theme. I think we're just about going to get over this ridge, aren't we? The island is not great for having power and climb speed, but we should be just about good enough. Might have to pick a few leaves out of the wheels after we land, but yeah, we're going to be fine, aren't we? Even though there is a tree at a higher altitude than we are. Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Little town down there, that's, yeah, very pretty. Yeah, some very early stages, and it will be some time before you get to see anything, as, yeah, I have plans, but I don't know if all of them are possible. Kind of thing I'm talking about is like one of the failures I had with the South Fiordland scenery. There's a flat bit in one location, and I had an idea that well, you know those big circular fields with the moving irrigators that spin around from a central point? Well, the idea was going to be that a farmer installs a runway on top of his irrigator so he can move it to always face into wind. But due to a software glitch, it's broken and he can't stop it from turning. So then in the game, the runway is always slowly turning around, and you'd have to time your approach to wherever it was pointing. So now I could build a model of the irrigator and model the runway on top of that, and make the runway a hard surface so you could land on it. I could also animate it to turn in a circle, but the big failure, however, is while it would move visually, the hard surface definition in the model, that didn't move, it stayed put in one place. So it totally ruined the whole idea. Unfortunately, I did test that before I went too far into model making, so it didn't cost much in time and effort to realise that X-Plane couldn't do what I wanted, but a bit of a shame, as that could have been a really fun and challenging place if it had actually worked. Yeah, so similar kind of things with this new idea. There's a couple of things I've thought of, but we'll have to see if they are even possible. In theory they should be, but in theory I thought the irrigator runway would work too, until I found out that it didn't. Oh, by the way, quick Neil update. He's still here with his poorly door. If you haven't seen previous videos and are totally confused by that, my local airport is EGBB Birmingham, and someone driving a set of air stairs nearly ripped the front door off a TUI Dreamliner. Now, TUI name all of their planes, and this one was called Neil. This was, not sure, maybe about 3 weeks ago maybe, and yep, Neil, he's still parked in the same spot on the apron. No idea what's going on, as I would have thought there would have been a bit more urgency to get him flying again, but obviously not. I'll keep you posted, and we'll see how long it takes before it stops being an aircraft and it turns into an ornament. Another little town village or so. Yeah, just had a thought, I should download Sim Heaven. Yeah, I've got the parts which cover New Zealand and Japan, which is where I do the majority of my flying. I presume there is an Africa part which would cover Reunion Mauritius probably. Yeah, it'd be worth a look to see if that does a better job of adding buildings and houses and that kind of thing. Probably would have been worth having a look before I started this flight actually. Well, then again, at least I've seen it in this state now, so I'll be able to see the difference and work out if I prefer it. Yeah, at least I got some ortho first though, which certainly makes things look a lot better than the default terrain. Yeah, I've made this myself, and being so small, it's only 4 tiles to cover both Reunion and Mauritius. Now, with various restrictions and terms and conditions from the assorted satellite image providers, I can't distribute or share this ortho. The fact that there will be a file called Reunion Mauritius Ortho in the Mega X-Plane 12 Other Stuff section, that's purely there for my benefit as a backup, and you should not download that. Yeah, the Reunion Mauritius Ortho file in the Mega X-Plane 12 Other Stuff section, yeah, don't download that one. That would be wrong. But after you've not downloaded it, then yeah, it does look like a pretty place to do a bit of flying and sightseeing. The other island, Mauritius, yeah, it's not flat, but it's nothing like Reunion. This is certainly the better looking one of the two, in my opinion. A few more hills and valleys and craters to have a bit of fun with some low flying. And according to the X-Plane default map, which always does an absolutely perfect job of showing you where all the hills and valleys and mountains are, they should soon open out to the flat bit on the coast. Is it just round this corner maybe? Ah, yep, there we go, we're safe. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, now the airport is somewhere. Oh crap, power lines. Emergency dock underneath those. Don't think I've ever tested it, but I'm assuming it wouldn't make any difference if you did fly into them, as there wouldn't be hard surface objects. The amount of power lines in the sim, that would seem like a massive waste of resources to make them hard surfaces when 99% of the time you're nowhere near the lines anyway, unless you're doing stupid kind of low flying like we are at the moment. airfield is just on the coast. There it is. Looks like there's a few more buildings in this one. Again, just a default one, but yeah, first impressions, that might be slightly better or have slightly more stuff than the first one. Although, as I said, I've not checked to see if anybody's uploaded custom versions of either of those, and there may be something really nice to get for both of them. Yeah, like the look of that. Have a nice view if you lived here, wouldn't you? Let's go back and land then. Oh crap, we're a bit high, aren't we? Okay. Islander, we could land halfway down the runway and stop him plenty of times, so that isn't going to matter, but try some side slipping, which is very effective in this Islander. Actually, you can lose quite a lot of altitude in a short amount of time without gaining any airspeed, which is nice. So that's a good technique to have up your sleeve if you're flying this one. Yeah, seems like a bit of crosswind, but nothing too much to worry about. Come on in. Yeah, I don't think that was too bad. Yeah, not going to complain too much about that one. Decent enough landings. Yeah, go and park up, but yeah, again, just default airport, default buildings, but yeah, seem to have done a bit better job here, or maybe not with these lights. Yeah, these yellow edge lines at the side there. You can define in WED which side the lights go, and I'm guessing whoever made this one didn't know that, as I can't imagine that in real life lights on stalks like this are going to be inside the yellow line and not outside of it. But if you didn't know that you could reverse those or didn't check it, then that's what happens. Yeah, strange. Whoever did this seems to have put a little bit of effort into it, at least. Yeah, so there we go then. That was our little flight across no, not across Mauritius. It was our little flight across Reunion Island. Yeah, which was quite enjoyable. Yeah. Right then, I'll see you again next time. Bye.